Hello guys and welcome to another episode of Higurashi, Matsuribayashi. Before we start, let me just tell you on the little journey I just went on. I was like literally a minute ago I was so tilted out of my mind and now I am fine, but so I was trying to start recording like an hour ago, but then when I tried to launch, the fuck was that? Loud train. But when I was trying to launch, it was like a black screen lady. Nothing was working, so I was trying to do some budget tech tech support work on it, and then I'm like, well, fuck, I'm gonna have to uninstall the thing and repatch it. So then that took like another 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay, time to probably take another 30 minutes to get where I was, but when I press continue, apparently my save file is still there. So based patch apparently keeps your save folder somehow. I have no idea how, because I fully cleared that folder, so something in my old files was corrupted. Oh, also good to shout out, when I was doing my budget tech support, I like made a copy, uninstalled, and then had to re-put the files in, but that didn't work. So somehow it got corrupted. I don't know how. I literally played it yesterday, but now it is good. Repatched. Yay. But yeah, I'm just, if I had to play through everything again, probably taking like 30 minutes doing fast forward, but the fragment stuff would have been really annoying. I probably would have been freaking steaming, but honestly, after all that, now I'm, I'm chilling, dude. I'm chilling. Probably won't record anything else tonight because it took up an hour that I was going to use for something else, but you know what? As long as we're safe. As long as we are safe. Is the resolution a bit different? I don't know. Let's load it up first. That's a little weird there. But let's find on recording, okay? Whatever, dude. Like I said, the night has been saved. At least I can record without a migraine, because I was gonna. Hey, you might have been. You might have to had prepared for like a 5 minute rant, because I was about to pop off until I saw the save file. So honestly, thank you mod patches for somehow saving my saved files when I repatched. I don't know how that works, but respect. Anyways, last time, quick recap. Okinogi squad successfully cornered the club members in making a spicy hostage situation with Shion and Kasai's life on the line. We traded Rika in with because we need Irie to rescue Toмотaki, and probably Rika because she's probably gonna be locked around the same place anyway, so it's probably the smartest way and the only way for everyone else to get away. Because if Irie gave up, they probably would have just K'd him and continued the stuff, so it's probably the best solution for the problem, and we're probably gonna be meeting up with Akasaka soon, so hope is not lost, guys. Hope is not lost. But yeah, let's just start it up. I'm so relieved, man. I am like, it's amazing how I went from extremely tilted to so happy. Oh my god.
では、リカさんは診療所に来てもらいましょう。お前たちは行け。
The assault unit that led Rika away headed back into the basement. They were about to break the rules too. Oh, good one.
約束を破る気ね。約束？そりゃ何の話
My
です
boy Otonogi. I mean, it's a smart play. Now that they captured her, it'll probably be harder for her to try to kill herself.
おおっと。つったら、本当に舌を噛まれちゃ
Yeah,
困ります
that's what I said, dude.
おい、
As Rika tried to run, Otonogi grabbed her fragile arm. She fought back, but her resistance meant nothing against him. One of the mountain dogs took out a syringe from a case. It shouldn't kill her, but it will probably put Rika to sleep. Takano, after all, didn't need a chatty Rika. She just needed a live queen carrier. If Rika got that shot, that will mean the end of this world. Before Rika could scream, the other dog covered her mouth. The dog with the syringe drew closer to Rika's arm. Rika was being grabbed from behind and her mouth was covered. There's no way for her to fight. I believe. Even if I'm asleep. I believe. Rika kept repeating that in her mind. She believed that someone would wake her up. And that was the first thing she'd seen when she opened up her eyes, would be her beloved friends. Sleep tight. Joke. It happened all of a sudden. Akasaka. The man with the syringe spun twice in the air and dropped to the ground. Nobody, including Okanoji, could understand this sudden phenomenon. It defied the very laws of physics. Rika couldn't understand either. The man who was holding Rika from behind spoke up. Actually based Atasata! His voice had such a heavy feeling imbued in it. The others took a few steps back, away from Rika and the man holding her. There are many units within the Mountain Dots, so often its members don't remember each other's faces. There were just too many units, so nobody really paid attention. All of the Mountain Dots were more or less well built. But this man had an excellent physique. Even Okanoji noticed that he'd never seen anyone like that in one of his units before. Rather, he actually wanted to recruit him. But... This is the... Pretty sure this is the song they used for the hype Takano montage, right? The training montage. The hands that were holding Rika left her shoulders. They left ever so gently. And so, as they did, they transformed into a pair of furious fists, which implanted themselves in the faces of the men attacking him from behind. They flew through the air. Akasaka hit those two without even turning around. 5 members of the Mountain Dog surrounded Akasaka. However, he didn't even see them. He could only feel the deep emotion of finally being able to do what he had been longing to. And the 5 of them sensed it. That maybe, just maybe, he didn't even care that they were there. On Okanoji's signal, the 5 Mountain Dogs bore down on Akasaka. Rika dropped to the ground, and Akasaka was left standing. Akasaka, who came back to keep a promise he made with a girl 5 years ago. But his promise was worth more than 5 years. Rika knew that. Akasaka probably understood it too. The promise went back 100 years. From 100 years, he regretted not being able to save her from the conspiracy. He believed that one day there would be a miracle he could travel back to this day. That's why he continued to train himself. His strong will and Rita's wish made that miracle happen. The one and only miracle allowed Akasaka to be here in Hinamizawa in June 1983. The first one went down in the time it took Okanoji to blink. Lowering himself to grapple Akasaka had proven fatal. He wasn't so soft to let such perfect opening go by. After Sato's hand smashed into the back of the man's head, his blow was powerful enough to smash a pillar of ice or shatter a mountain of tiles. Jesus. As it happened, Atasato was holding back a little, so that his target wasn't too injured. Okay, dude. Got a narrator now? Boom. Atasato's well-trained viz continued to knock down the mountain gods, one member for every time Otonogi blinked. One hit per opponent was all Atasato needed. This was the true essence of karate. Atasato's colleagues praised and feared his power. Weapons were useless against him. No matter how hard his victim tried to protect himself, it meant nothing to Atasaka. But he was too strong for the mountain gods to even understand that. It was as if he was a giant they had to crane their nets up to see. Atasaka didn't even give them time to think. Someone from the mountain gods must have called for backup. About a dozen more members had arrived. He actually done a solo all these guys. Dude, it's not even going anywhere the way I thought it was. I thought he was just gonna meet up with the Danes and plan a rescue plan, but he might just do it, dude. Unless they wouldn't, but wouldn't it be like hilarious if like he's just beating everyone's ass and then Tatano just shoots him? Kind of like how she started shooting everyone when they were kicking ass. But obviously it won't happen like that. As Rika stayed low to the ground, she picked up a stick and started to carve into the dirt. That made Otonogi even angrier, but he calmed himself down. Then, the warrior's intuition resting in Otonogi's blood came to a realization. Numbers didn't matter. Even after the full force of the mountain gods wouldn't be able to defeat this monster. After all the combat units were still down in the basement, there's no way they could take him. Yep, the rematch. Well, did he even fight Atasaka? He's the one who shot him, I guess. He's the one who brawled with Oishi more, though. It had been 5 years. This was the man Atasaka fought when he was investigating the kidnapping of the minister's grandson. Atasaka still had been inexperienced then. Otonogi took off all of his equipment and threw it on the ground. He loosened one button, then positioned himself. What do you think? Is Otonogi actually gonna put up a good fight, or is he just gonna get no dift? Or low dift? Seeing that, Atasaka realized he was somewhat capable and narrowed his eyes in vigilance. Otonoji took that as an insult. That Atasaka only thought he was somewhat capable. His behavior was telling Otonoji that he viewed him on the same level as the other small fry. Yo, they fixed his net! Look at that sprite. Looks kind of funky. But at least his net doesn't look massive now. It looks so weird though. I like the stance though. Atasaka first moved to take up his stance and avoid getting Rika involved. Atasaka hadn't even moved one bit until just then. Otonoji could easily see that Atasaka was extremely strong. But at the same time, he thought he would be fairly simple to take down. Karate may be a martial art, but nowadays it's just a sport. The army of combat Otonoji trained in was completely different. Obviously, Atasaka had studied a lot, but that's all just child's play. All he learned were routine moves and forms. Besides, karate moves are fairly straightforward. Otonoji was confident that he could fight any karate pro and win. Otonoji started leaning onto his toes and using meticulous footwork. In contrast, Atasaka still hadn't moved back from his back stance. Atasaka was acting as if Otonoji's footwork was a simple trick, which infuriated Otonoji. Otonoji moved fiercely and nimbly, in a manner completely different from how Atasaka was moving earlier. Atasaka remained calm, but Otonoji saw it differently. He can't react to my movement, so he's probably prepared to take damage in order to deal more. Atasaka couldn't defend himself from Otonoji's quick jab, and it connected with his face. It was a quick but light attack. Its purpose was to distract Atasaka and create an opening for Otonoji. Otonoji knew that Atasaka would use his arms to guard his face instinctively. Otonoji's real purpose was to attack his abdomen, which would be unguarded. Of course, Atasaka didn't have enough time to guard himself. It took more than just a good kinetic vision to prevent his attack. Only Otonoji, who had trained for many years, had perfected the speed of that technique. Normal people would struggle helplessly while vomiting if they were to experience Otonoji's kick. It could even rupture internal organs. So it's pretty amazing that Atasaka was still on his feet. Definitely not low lift. The good fight. Atasaka mumbled something but Otonoji couldn't hear. Actually, he did hear it. But Otonoji never imagined he could say such a thing in this situation, so he couldn't hear it. He couldn't comprehend it. As a past karate green belt when I was like 12 years old, I agree. Otonoji attacked Atasaka again, but this time Atasaka was different. Atasaka blocked Otonoji's fists and legs. Of course, Otonoji was still the only one attacking. But Atasaka started to become much more aggressive. Now as Otonoji attacked, his hands and legs were being injured. Otonoji instinctively sensed that he was in trouble. He thought Atasaka was just a police officer, but his movements were too dangerous. He was merciless. He was dangerous. So Atasata's training and experience must far surpass Otonodi's. Wait, that dynamic heel kick isn't karate, is it? Atasata's heel kick missed Otonodi's head by a millimeter.
てめえ空手以外にもやってやがるな。いいや、
Oh?
私は空手しかやっていない。嘘つくんじゃねえ。さっきから明らかに空手じゃ見たことねえ技が目立つぞ。
Otonodi was starting to become impatient. The reason Otonodi ridiculed martial arts as sports was because they were all hard-headed and only used set moves. This is how you strike in karate. This is how you punch in boxing. This is how you throw in judo. Yeah, I mean, karate also does throws, though it's mainly defensive throws, if I remember. And I'm pretty sure judo also does, like, they don't strike, but they do, like, takedowns and ground submissions and stuff. It's a bit more diverse, right? It's easy to learn, and that's why it's easy to win. But Atasaka was different. He said he only did karate, and he must have spent unthinkable hours training. Yet he was flexible enough not to be confined only by formatted moves. That was understanding at a spiritual level. The spirit of martial arts isn't just forms. One simply learns forms to reach that spiritual level. Therefore, for one who has reached it, there are no forms. What Atasaka had was a philosophical spirit. Atasaka stepped away from his original spot for the first time. He moved forward. He filled the space between Otonodi and himself with his inescapable conviction. As Atasaka walked closer to Otonodi, Atasaka's assault radius tried to swallow him whole. To be within that radius meant death. Otonodi walked backward to avoid being in that radius. That was the result of his clear-headed judgment. Not because he was scared. That's a cursed face. Why did a wrinkle appear? As Otonodi moved backwards, his bat hit the van he came in earlier. He was cornered. Having your bat to a wall didn't mean you were at a disadvantage, but the more pressed against that wall, the further a disadvantage it became. If Otonodi let Atasaka come any closer, Otonodi wouldn't be able to take a combat stance. Otonodi decided it immediately. The last chance he had was the moment before Atasaka took his next step. Atasaka's foot left the ground. He was taking another step. Now! No tricks, no feints. Otonodi lowered himself and attacked with everything he had. The attack was powerful enough to break Atasaka's ribcage and rupture his heart. I'm a professional, Otonodi told himself. I can't be defeated by this amateur. Oh my god. At that moment, Atasaka's eyes opened wide. Yo, what's a CG? Punched? There you go. Oh shit. It's the key, dude. He's shooting out some key. All the mountain gods heard a noise. It wasn't the noise of people fighting. It was the noise of a traffic accident. Otonodi's blow missed by a slight amount, and Atasaka's fist struck inches away from Otonodi's face. There was a dent in the sliding door of the van. The windows on both sides had shattered, and it looked like the van was in an accident. Was it even possible for a human fist to do this? Time resumed its flow, and Otonodi knelt down, falling to the ground. Atasaka didn't miss on purpose. Atasatra couldn't control his fist because he put everything into one blow. Otonodi should thank Atasatra. If Atasatra had been able to control his attack better, Otonodi's face would have ended up like the van. However, although it didn't hit Otonodi's face, it shattered his spirit. Rika applauded, but in this situation, it didn't sound like applause. It almost sounded like Atasatra's fighting spirit was popping like firecrackers. Atasatra pulled back his fist, turned around calmly, then spoke. They knew. Everyone knew that there was no way to defeat Atasatra with their bare hands. They realized they needed weapons. They also needed more people. There should be better equipment unit. There should be a better equipped unit in the basement. All of a sudden, things began to move quickly. The remaining mountain gods emerged from the basement. But the mountain gods who just witnessed Atasatra's battle against Otonodi realized it was time for them to run. They didn't even care about Rika. Who would even think of taking Rika from him after seeing what Atasatra was capable of doing? When Otonodi regained his awareness, he jumped into the van with the mountain gods as it drove away. Since Otonodi took off his intercom device to fight with Atasatra, he had no idea what had transpired in the basement. Flashy forward. Okay, officially done with that fight. That was probably that was super melodramatic in a pretty good way though. Enjoyable at least. After the mountain gods broke their promise with Rika, they were supposed to round up the remaining club members. But when Atasatra showed up, the gods had been divided into a ground force and a basement force, which altered the situation. Tasai had gone on the counterattack, and the other club members somehow climbed up from the well and helped them. Since the mountain gods weren't allowed to fire on the surface, they realized they would make the situation worse if Tasai fired his guns once he came up after them. Otonodi was unreachable, so Nightingale 1 had ordered them to retreat in his place. Oh, going downhill from here, huh? Pretty fast, too. Who would bear the responsibility for this? It was probably Otonodi's fault for taking off his intercom device to fight against Atasatra, as he basically abandoned his job as a commander. But everything happened in the first place because Atasatra showed up. So maybe it was his triumph rather than Otonodi's blunder. Either way, everything was miraculous. But the mountain gods hadn't run with their tails between their legs. They had simply retreated for the moment. When they returned, they would have enough men and enough arms ready to kill all who stand in their way. And that would happen very soon. There's no time to waste. Oh, reunion already. Okay. It's breaking my expectations, which is a good thing, I guess. Just in a weird way. Yay. Takano's probably fuming. I thought they were gonna switch to Takano raging, but okay. Back to battle plans, huh? In the basement, the club members were talking about their grand counterattack. Rika was a little disappointed that she couldn't have joined them. But she was happy that Atasatra told her that what she had been waiting to hear. Rika told them about how heroic he had been, and he got a little embarrassed. Asai was doing alright, but Shion wasn't doing too well. Of course it wasn't life-threatening, but she couldn't hear well in her left ear, possibly due to being so close to an explosion. To test her hearing, Mian went around to Xian's left side and whispered some dirty words. She seemed to be able to hear them fairly well. Of course, she might have been hearing through her right ear, though. Hearing them through her right ear. Xian decided to lie down on a tatami mattress in the torture room while Irie kept an eye on her. Mian was very worried, but Xian told her that she was okay and forced her to go ahead with the next operation. Mian complained that Xian didn't understand her feelings. Now they would have to come up with an idea to rescue Tomotaki from the clinic. They had Akasaka and Kasa on their side, both whom were used to battles. Also, they had Irie, who knew about the secret basement of the clinic. They would have to get moving quickly, but they have to at least have a plan. Also, again, reminder, Irie does have a tracking device on him, so they won't know if they're like sneaking with him. It was almost 10:30 a.m. Because of what they had gone through, they were exhausted, and it felt like it was almost evening. But if they were at school, it would only be second or third period. They had to pull themselves together. They had to regain their fighting spirits. Irie checked Xian's left ear with a penlight.
耳鼻科の先生でないとわかりませんが、運が悪ければ鼓膜が破れている可能性もあります。頭痛やめまいはありますか？
いいえ、全然へっちゃらです。
Irie wet his handkerchief and wiped Xian's face gently.
驚いてます？ひなみざわファイターズのマネージャーに銃撃戦ができて。
Pretty surprising if you put it like that way.
ええ、驚いています。あなたが死ぬ気だったとは。前原さんに聞きましたよ。
うわ、ああいう言葉ってその場ではかっこいいけど、生き残っちゃうとめちゃくちゃ恥ずかしいですね。やだな。
If something happens to you and I live, my sister will never forgive me for that. I don't have my loved one anymore, but Sis does.
茶化しっこなしです。
Did Teichi really say that out loud? Whoa, sticky tease. Cursing me every time. Did he like say that part out loud to everyone?
あなたの思い人というのは、
Oh.
サトシ君のことです。
Oh yeah. Obviously that. But also, the other part's kind of embarrassing for Teichi.
どうでしょうね。
Yeah, we're gonna get a Irie info dump on Satoshi, because he knows what happened. Dude, wait, it was always implied that Irie thought Satoshi ran away, so maybe Irie really knows that Satoshi ran away?
今頃どこにいるやら。
I don't know. I think we're about to find out one of the great mysteries.
生きてるのか死んでるのかもわかりませんけど。
生きています。
Xian's thoughts stopped in their tracks when Irie answered immediately.
北条サトシ君は
Oh my
生きてい
god.
ます。
He was the person who went to Tokyo, probably.
彼は去年のあの日、不幸な振動がたたり、末期の発症を迎えてしまったんです。
Mian and the other club members had already told Xian about the current situation, so she kind of understood what he meant.
私はサトコちゃんと同じ薬で治療できると思いました。ですが、サトコちゃんが治療できたのは極めて幸運なケースだったようで、サトシ君の治療は困難を極めました。そしてその治療は今も続いているのです。
サトシ君、サトシ君、生きてるの？
今まで話せなくてすみません。サトシ君は
What?
近くにいます。
Oh shit, he's there? He's been there? Is he not being experimented on? Question mark? Wait, oh shit. I thought they like ported him out somewhere. Xian and Irie returned to the torture room. Oh, now we got an extra live to save, I guess. Xian looked very serious, as if she gained the determination to fight. Keiichi and the others were just talking about how the enemy found where they were. Oh, they might got it. Oh, okay. We'll finally get that out of the way. That's actually very good. I thought that might be a crutch coming up.
先生の私服ではなく、診療所で持たされるものや着せられるものにです。
だとするとこの白衣くらいですが。
監督、ちょっとボディチェックします。
Jian checked Ire over like an inspector at an airport. Then she found a little button on the back side of his collar. It was a little round button. There's no reason why a button like this would be on the back of the collar.
こいつが発信機でしょう。連中はこいつを信頼してるから、直接尾行しなくてもここを突き止められたんです。やられたわ。となりゃ、このボタンがある限り、陽動作戦が可能になるってことだね。
ボタンを持ったおとり隊が敵をおびき寄せ、その隙に手薄の診療所を襲い、富武さんを助け出す。それが最善でしょう。
Get your daily episode of Satoko laughing.
となれば、そのおとり隊が陽動するには、私の裏山が一番でございますわね。
そうだな。あそこなら敵を引っ張り回せるぜ。しかもあれだけの山だからな。敵も相当の手勢を集めるだろう。その分、診療所がガラ空きになる。
That's actually pretty smart. Bring a whole lot of them when now that they're pissed off that Atasaka literally 1v all of them. And then sneak in. Dude, sounds good. Though there probably will still be some on guard, but knowing the quality of the mountain dodge, or maybe just the quality of the club members, they can easily 1v1 a mountain dodge. As long as they don't have guns. But even when they had stun guns, they were kind of just owning.
どの程度敵が診療所に残るかだ。診療所には敵にとっても重要な富武氏がいる。相応の守備を残すだろう。
That is a good point.
となれば、富武より美味しい餌をおとりと一緒にするのがいいのです。大丈夫ですか、リカ？はいです。みんなと一緒で貞子の裏山なら絶対に捕まりませんです。
Love how it's just called Satoko's Hills. Perfect. Should officially name it that.
裏山に精通してるのはこの中では部活メンバーだけだね。おとりは部活メンバーが引き受けるといいかもしれない。
That's probably smart too. Just because you don't necessarily need to confront the mountain dogs as a decoy unit, but Atasaka to take care of the guards is probably the safest play. I think the club members probably could do it too, but you know, they don't know the hills. The hills.
そうだね。その間に大人部隊は診療所を奇襲。翔さんは大丈夫？
赤坂さんのお目こぼしがあれば警察の方と聞いております、ね。
Okay. As I spoke while loading his shotgun.
今はオフですので。
Akasaka replied while checking an automatic pistol. Do the team up, Akasaka and Kasai. I never knew I wanted this, but now that I got it, I'm very happy. He hadn't used this particular gun before, but he was used to handling guns. He was prepared to fire too. He tried to memorize how to remove the safety, but he looked nervous.
赤坂さんは機関銃の経験は？
ありません。拳銃だけです。
では慣れたものがよろしいでしょう。弾倉は十分に。弾詰まりに備え、同じ銃をもう一丁。
笠井さんはこれはショットガンですか？
Is Irie getting us strapped up?
奇数発目は 牽制圧も壁抜きもできます。
Oh shit.
おお、散弾銃の立つって通り名は聞いてたけど、
Shotgun
本当に
Tatsu,
ショッ
huh?
トガン使いなんですね。
散弾銃は恐ろしい武器です。ですから相手に当てずとも降伏させることもできます。あと皆さん、防弾ベストがありますので。
Thank you. That is very useful. Kasai sounded very dependable, but at the same time, he reminded everyone that this operation would be a dangerous one. It wasn't a simple fistfight. Even a veteran soldier can die in a gun battle. There's always a chance of death, regardless of how well trained you are. In fact, Kasai and Atasaka were the only people who could be depended upon. Kasai talked to Irie out of carrying a gun because it might be dangerous for him to have one too. Someone could get injured by friendly fire. Mion suggested that maybe there should be more people on the team, but both Kasai and Akasaka refused because those who couldn't even handle guns at all might end up as dead weight. Dude, it's gonna be the squad, bro. And once they run, I bet Owishi's gonna join up. Then you have the full boys squad that we kind of established before. Well, Kasai is new, I guess.
なあ、私が行くしかないですね。第一、火力が足りなさすぎです。
Plus Shion, dude. No, she just wants to see Satoshi too.
ファイヤーサポートに私がイングラムでも持ってきましょう。
でもシオン、お前耳大丈夫なのかよ。
ええ、もう治っちゃいました。ケロッとね。ご心配かけてすみませんでした。シオン、今私が何て言ったか聞いてた？え？あ、嫌だな、聞こえてましたよ。
Mion had tricked her. Yeah, she didn't say anything. Mion didn't say anything. Shion still couldn't hear out of her left ear.
シオン、危険だよ。正直に言って、おとりに混じるのも危険だと思ってる。
Wonder if they should drop the Satoshi information. I don't know. It might be a motivator, but it's a lot of more pressure.
シオンはどこかに身を隠
Plus
してた。
Satoko. Who knows how will she fall under the pressure? Will she ascend to the true trap god? I mean, she's the trap god, but there's trap god with like a capital G.
私、どうしても診療所に行かなければならない用事ができたの。でも、それを今話した
Yeah, okay.
さとこまで来ると言い出す。それはダメ。
We need her on Satoko Hills, dude.
それって、
Mion sensed it. She sensed the reason why Xian had to go to the clinic. That's why she didn't say anything more. If she was in Xian's position, she would go even if neither of her ears could hear.
危険ですわよ、シオンさん。考え直してくださいまし。さとこ、シオンは救出隊に回る。さとこはおとり隊のエースなんだよ。
Ace. True, she's the ace.
しーちゃん。レナさんならわかるよね。私が死ぬ気じゃないってこともね。うん。わかってる。こういう時の女の子ってね、絶対に死なないから。ですよね。殺されたって死ぬもんか。
Xian and Rena gave each other a high five. Okay. Dude, I was imagining that. It's good. It's cute for some
決ま
reason.
ったようですね。では、もう動き始めましょうです。
Let's go.
ボタンをこっちで預かるです。
That's actually pretty smart.
これ頑張ってね、リカちゃま。
And we can place it somewhere for a nice bid trap eventually.
C も頑張って。C が強く強く信じてきた
Did
奇跡
Rika
だから
know that
今
Satoshi
この
was
瞬間に叶うのです
down there the whole time? I guess maybe she would have, huh?
だからきっとこれは C のために神様が微笑んでくれたチャンスなのです。信じなかった日もあった気がする。それを誰かに諭された日もあった気がする。信じ続けるって大変なことだよね。でもあなたは信じ続けました。信じなかったことを悔い、信じました。だから訪れた今日をどうか大切に。今日を呼び寄せたあなたの強い意志の前に、目の前の苦難はもはや苦難ではない。あんた、お姉の新しい友達ですか？名前は知らないけど、ありがとう。うまくいきそうな気がします。うまくいきますですよ。お社様のお墨付きなのです。
Flash to white. Well, that's Takano music. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna end here a little early, but it's been a weird night, but pretty solid episode. New tech on Satoshi, which was pretty unexpected. And I mean, just in general, I didn't expect Rita to be saved so soon. Thought we would have like an Omega mission, but good news, good news. So, you know, Kasai, Akasaka, Shion, all in one squad to oh, and obviously Ire to save Tomotaki and apparently Satoshi now. Cool. And the battle on Satoko Hill with the club members looking pretty good. So I'm gonna end it here. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we don't run into that problem, but luckily I know that at least the patch will reinstall my save files for whatever reason, so that's cool. Yeah, I guess that's it. Also, if you haven't voted on the Higurashi anime poll, then this is your last day to do it. If you are watching this on the upload day of Saturday. Literally 12 hours after this is released, it will close and we'll be watching whatever. So if you wanna put in your input, change the vote, or secure the win for what you want, then do that now, I guess. But yeah, thanks for watching as always. See you next time. Bye.